At Baker's, no matter where you order free pickup, you get the same great deals as you'd get in store. So you can save when you order during band practice, or at the dog park, or wherever. Start your cart with the Baker's app and save from wherever today. Baker's, fresh for everyone. $35 order minimum. Restrictions may apply. Subject to availability.
Get more ways to save at the Buy 5 or More Save $1 each sale. Just buy 5 or more participating items and save $1 each with card. Baker's, fresh for everyone.
Without a healthy mind, being truly happy and at peace is hard. The good news is therapy works. But what is therapy exactly? It's whatever you want it to be. Maybe you're not feeling motivated right now and would like some tools to help. Or maybe you're feeling insecure in relationships or at work, not dealing well with stress. Whatever you need, it's time to stop being ashamed of normal human struggles and start feeling better because you deserve to be happy. And now you don't have to worry about finding an in-person therapist near you to help. BetterHelp is customized online therapy that offers video, phone, and even live chat sessions with your therapist, so you don't have to see anyone on camera if you don't want to. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can start communicating with your therapist in under 48 hours. Join the millions of people who are seeing what online therapy is really about. It's always a good time to invest in yourself because you are your greatest asset. And a special offer to ImmaLetYouFinish listeners, you can get 10% off your first month of professional therapy at betterhelp.com/ImmaLetYou, ImmaLetYou. That's betterhelp.com/ImmaLetYou, ImmaLetYou. Thanks again to BetterHelp for sponsoring this podcast.
What the fuck,
and
y'all?
What the fuck? It's us. You know who we are.
It's ImmaLetYouFinish, show 89 on the Pantheon Podcast Network. I mean, listen, if we have a world where Will Smith's assaulting people, how do you start a show, right? Hey, it's us.
Hey, it's us. Heard you missed us. Well, we're back. Or did you miss us?
Hey, Amy.
Hey.
Heard any interesting news over the past couple of days? Has anything? Well, first of all, how was the We Got the Beat Festival? You were at a great women's festival this weekend where you spoke. It was.
Thank you. And everyone thanked us for our support of it. It was a lot of fun. It was the inaugural and hopefully annual gathering of women in the industry, all different facets, from performers to photographers to journalists to, the people, the marketing people. And it was a lot of fun. First off, it was in one of my favorite places in the world, which is the Catskills. So it was great to see friends, but it was a lot of fun. Beautiful venue. Those of you who love music, the Bearsville Theater, which is a legendary recording studio and theater, has been completely redone by one of the festival's organizers, Lizzie Van. So kudos to her, but super kudos to Holly George Warren, who our friend of the show, who put this thing together and hosted many of the interviews, and to my dear friend and super fan of the show, super fan, Courtney, was introducing everybody to me as an Amy co-host the show. My beautiful friend Katie Taylor for helping coordinate this. Great women. It was lots of fun. So I don't think that men understand what it's like to be. I mean, not that there weren't guys there. There were obviously guys there, but it's just nice to share stories and kind of bond with women.
Right.
And Meg Griffin, the DJ, who is also a fan, said something really important. That, when people talk about women being competitive and bitchy, we're trained to be that way. We don't come out of the womb being bitchy to other women. So it's important that we support each other when we can. And so it was great. Thanks for asking us. So yeah, it was great.
So the Academy Awards also happened this weekend. A show that I thought was pretty terrible. First of all, I thought the show was terrible. The show is terrible. It was just dumb. It was dumb. And it looked cheap. It looked weird. I hated the way it was lit. I hated the way the theater looked. They were sitting in ugly seats. It was dumb. So, not evidently, but the biggest moment, a bunch of people won awards. It's great. Pretty much everybody who everyone expected to win won. Everything that everyone predicted to win won. And, we have the Will Smith assaulting Chris Rock on stage moment, which is really unfortunate. I find it really, really, really unfortunate. And I'm really tired of all of the think pieces I'm seeing and everybody, taking sides. He's defending his woman. He should do this. And this one over here, I was afraid he should go to jail. And it's, I look at that whole moment and it's heartbreaking for Chris Rock because to me, to be slapped in your face on international television, in your face, even with no one looking, is one of the highest forms of disrespect. It's just complete disrespect.
Yeah.
But to be slapped in your face on international television and then screamed at was just insanity. It really, really was. And it's heartbreaking for Will Smith because, I recognize that moment of someone who clearly was in a space of being blacked out of some weird shit, because that kind of behavior, and then to come back and sit in your seat, and I'm looking at the Academy like, so he assaults this man.
Right. And then gets to sit down.
And he gets to sit back down in his seat. Right. Because if he had slapped, say, Nicole Kidman, I really think they would have hauled him off that stage by his ankles. It's like, why was that okay?
Well, what if Regina Hall? Right. What if Regina Hall had told the joke?
Right. My thing is, Chris Rock, just because he's a man and just because he's a black man does not mean he should not have been given the same respect anybody else would. And I cannot believe he got to sit back down in his seat.
Right.
And then
continue. Get
up and get an award. Now, I had a friend who was in the house, and here's the interesting thing that we didn't hear on television, but I did notice when they said his name, some people booed. Okay. Some people, and when they said
when he won, you mean when he actually won the award?
But they kind of took it out on TV, and you heard, they put in more canned applause when he won. If you notice, some people jumped up immediately, but in the shot, you see there's a lot of people who did not get up.
Good.
And then you can see the ones who kind of started getting up just because people around them started getting up, but it was very hesitant.
Like peer pressure, like a peer pressure thing.
And I was just sitting there thinking, I'm watching you do this weird speech where all of a sudden now you're having this full emotional breakdown. And I'm like, this is a mess. You're a mess. I didn't know Jada had alopecia. I had no idea.
Thank you.
I didn't know. My friend said it in one of the group tests. I was like, well, how would I know that? And I have another friend.
How would we know that?
And I have another friend who argued with me saying he knew that. I was like, well, how would he know? Red Table Talk. I was like, I don't even watch that. You think he's sitting around watching Red Table Talk to know what fucking
come on.
To say? Like, no, I didn't know. Two, it's like you get to make this long speech. You have this full emotional breakdown. You didn't apologize to the person that you smacked, even if you're still angry with him. You smack this man on live television, then start screaming about leave my wife's name out your motherfucking mouth. All of this real toxic, dumb, masculine bullshit. And to me, it's heartbreaking because you've been in this industry for so long. You finally have your moment. And this is your moment. This is your moment.
Well, I have to say, and I'm not directing it at you, I really could now go a lifetime without people who don't know what they're talking about, who are not trained in psychodrama and psychosis, talking about trauma. All right. You don't know what you're talking about. Okay. Trauma is what's going on in Ukraine and Syria. Trauma is not your wife, someone making a dumb joke about your wife having a shaved head. I didn't know she had alopecia. I'm sorry she does. I know people have it. It's a very, here, first, he laughed at the joke. Will Smith laughed at the joke. And then Jada rolled her eyes and shot him a look. And I don't know. You haven't worked. Well, you've worked in corporate America. We have to take workplace violence training programs.
And guess what? And on each movie, when you make movies,
you have to take that.
That is a big thing.
Right.
Workplace violence is a big thing.
So it's the fact that it's first off, the better person would just go, oh, you're an asshole, and then meet up with him later. Okay.
The better person would do like they used to always do, be classy, beat him up at the Vanity Fair party with
whatever, or just ignore it.
You know what I'm saying?
Ignore it.
Right.
I had no idea either. I had no idea. I had no idea. And, I'm sorry, this is going to sound horrible, but Jada Pinkett lately has made more of a career of oversharing than everything else. So if you're going to overshare like that, you have to expect.
What I was about to say to you, thank you for saying that. They live out loud.
Yeah.
You keep living. You've been living. And What's
the last movie she was in? Girls Night? Girls Trip?
Maybe. Yeah.
I
think so.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that's fine if she doesn't want to be in a movie. But the point, you are now known for sitting around with your mom, who also has you're sitting around with your daughter, also has cross. I thought it was a look. But the point is that nothing that Chris Rock said, and it was done with a wink, it was warranted that. And the fact that this, when people talk about how do men get away with stuff, you just saw how men get away with, because this man got up, walked, had a moment to think. He could have thought, hit him, came back, walked, and they continued to do it. That's how
they started cursing him out from the seat. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
That's how men get away with stuff. And the whole thing is ridiculous.
Yeah.
If his apology speech is any indication of his acting in that movie, then he's horrible. Well, I am a vessel of love. I am called upon. And you know what's really, really disappointing? This movie, which I got to be honest, I have no interest in seeing, but this movie is celebrating the Williams sisters, and he just stole their thunder.
And then he was equating himself to their father. Remember, he was all like, I guess I'm like the crazy father. It was like,
stole the thunder of Questlove and Joseph Patel, who were about to win a documentary, which is a major coup for someone from the music industry and from music journalism to make this switch.
No one can even tell you what they said up there.
No one can even tell you, and I heard it was a great speech.
And I hit my friend who was sitting in the room when I asked her, and she said, I can't tell you what happened.
No.
She said, we were just sitting there she said it was like the air came out the room. We were absolutely stunned. She said everybody was in shock. We were still trying to absorb what happened. Quest is on stage, but we're just like, what the fuck just happened?
And the first time it's been produced by a black man.
No, Quincy Jones has produced the Oscars. They
were saying it was the first time.
Yeah, because nobody ever does his thing.
All right, but the point is, all right. But the point is that it was just highly uncalled. And you know what? Look, I don't know Jada Pinkett Smith. She seems like a girl she seems like somebody she don't need her husband to get up there and have like some macho man moment. She can take care of herself. She's got a forum. She's got a mouth. She's got a brain. If I were Chris Rock, I'd be more afraid of Jada getting up and smacking the shit out of him. The whole thing was ridiculous. Chris Rock showed himself to be a completely class act. And I just think it's horrible. And no, they should not cancel him or take away his Oscar, but I don't think he should be invited back next year. I don't think he should be given a form. I don't think so.
And I think he should lose his voting rights for a year or two.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Lose his voting rights for a year or two. Like, don't kick him out. But there has to be a punishment for it.
Yeah, don't get the moment of handing the person who, because that's the tradition, the person. And I don't need all these men rallying around him and stop it. It's emasculating. The whole thing was emasculating.
And somebody was like, Tiffany Haddish said, I was like, you can stop right there.
Idiot.
I was like, you can stop right there, sweetie. Like, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that words of bright wisdom from, Tiffany thank you.
Haddish.
Thank you. Yes.
Whatever. So what is a shame, though, is that there were actual awards. Billie Eilish and Phineas won the award.
Which was a surprise because
but it's a great song.
It is a really good song.
It's a really good song. I have not seen Coda. Do you know anyone who has seen Coda? I'm not saying this to be obnoxious.
No, I'm not, because each time I have this conversation with my friends, everybody keeps saying, have you seen it? I haven't seen it. No, then we're like, do you know anybody who's seen it? So we all are like, well, we guess we need to see it, but none of us have seen it.
No, I'm sure it's beautiful. The only the point, but that is groundbreaking that a deaf actor won. That is groundbreaking. I have not also seen The Eyes of Tammy Faye, but
I did see that.
She's a great actress. She's a great actress. I just find the whole thing to just be so ridiculous. And once again, this guy needing attention, and you know, it's like needs your attention, and it's ridiculous. And
I just, I understand kind of getting caught in a moment and just kind of blacking out and doing some shit and just being stuck in it and then coming out of it. Like, I've had that kind of a moment, and it really had really messed up consequences. But the thing is,
let me ask you, what was the moment he was caught up? Somebody made an offhanded joke that nobody would have remembered the next day.
Right. But do you know what I think it is? And this is just my theory a little bit. Right. My theory is all of the oversharing, and then, all of that stuff with the open marriage shit and the affair with the kid's friend and all of that, and sharing all of that in the public has made them a big public joke. People used to snicker and say things behind their backs. But now, if you've noticed, it's gotten to the place where people are making the jokes to their face. It happened on the red carpet of the Golden Globes with Laverne Cox. I believe somebody made a joke at them again about whatever on the carpet of on the carpet of the Oscars. Then Regina Hall made her joke. And to me, it felt like when Chris made his joke, it was just kind of like that moment of
the tipping point.
Right. It could have been anything dumb. It was just like you realize sharing so much, you guys have become the joke, and people are so comfortable making the jokes now, they're making it to your face. And I think it was just that moment of tired of being the joke.
Let me tell you something. He took a long time to have his blackout. That was a long-ass blackout.
It is true, but sometimes when you get into that space, you're just like, the intent is like, you're just and he seemed real. It almost, when I watched the speech, it was like a person who needed to be sitting in front of his therapist, because he was suddenly like trying to say stuff. It was just all a mess. And I don't feel bad for him. I don't. I feel like you have to accept the responsibility of this action and whatever it is. And I also feel like we have to allow people to make mistakes, because even the ones who you love and who preach things to you, everybody is human and everybody makes a mistake.
This is more than a mistake.
Yes, but some are worse than others.
Yeah.
But everyone is allowed to fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's allowed to fuck up, because in life, we have all fucked up, and we've all done things that maybe in our life may not have been a slap to somebody in the face on television, but have been really monumental and had moments where we felt uneasy and people around us were uneasy. So
maybe he needs to do some more Scientology auditing sessions to work it out.
But I think that whatever it is, he needs to sit down and shut the fuck up. And so does she for a little bit, because this living out loud has been really annoying. And when you've made yourselves the butt of the joke, now you're going to be offended. And I'm also scared for fucking comedians. It's like, I feel like comedians these days are under attack. You can't be off comedians, they're, especially the ones who ride that edge. It's
like now people even that bad a joke.
But here's the thing: they keep getting attacked, right? It's like
of course,
on college campuses, they're protesting certain comedians coming where before that was a place a comedian could always go. At comedy clubs, they're having to make sure people aren't taping because they're taping people's shows and then being offended.
Right.
And now you've got at the Oscars. First of all, G.I. Jane is such an interesting thing, right?
Because it's an empowering image.
When Demi Moore did that, everybody was like, wow, she shaved her head. And remember her body was in peak shape. She was so strong. And she was like the image of strength. So it's kind of like, why is that suddenly this horrible thing where everybody's like, and he's making fun of alopecia? It's like, I didn't even know she had alopecia.
No, she didn't. And he wasn't making a joke about alopecia. He was making a very half-handed stuff like, I see you got a bald head there. It would be like me saying to a guy with a bald head, you look like Mr. Clean. It was just much ado about absolutely nothing. I'm sorry. And there's no excuse for it. And he's just, and she needs to just stop. She's not that interesting. She's not.
Please don't. Let me tell you something, girl.
Her children
you do not want to
interesting.
sit here and have us get into the, because we could do a whole subject on a whole show on how I feel about the motherfucking two of them. And everybody would either be calling us with hate or death threats and agreeing with us, because the full of shitness that I think is going on in that whole situation is we don't have time to really go down that fucking road.
I do want to say that I only watched
wait, and then Jaden being like, this is how we do. I'm like, listen, sir, your father's from West Philly. You're from fucking Calabasas. I don't want to hear about this.
I don't want to hear your hood cred. Your
hood cred comes with wheatgrass juice and a fucking electric vehicle.
And
I'm not
hanging out with the Kardashians.
You know what I'm saying? Please.
I will say that I only watched bits and blobs, obviously, but it was great to see Megan Thee Stallion steal the show.
I mean, it's like
We Don't Talk About Bruno. That was fun. And it was great to see, there were a lot of, there were a lot of firsts. Whatever we think about the Academy, there were a lot of firsts. There was a lot of groundbreaking. There was a lot of has never happened again. And this little crybaby gets up there and ruined it for everybody.
Yeah.
He was a baby. I don't even want to say crybaby, because babies have consequences when they do things. It was just it was stupid and boring. And Chris Rock is the class act and enough,
Chris Rock,
Brooklyn for the win.
Chris Rock, whose concert tickets have now gone up tenfold on all the sites, because tickets that were like $46 are now selling for over $300 because everybody knows that the brilliant orator that he is, where we're going to really hear the fierceness from Chris Rock, is going to be from the stage. Yeah. And he's got two tours, right? Because he's doing his club tour, which is one of and he's got an arena tour going across the country, co-headlining with Kevin Hart. So he's going to, I feel, let his feelings be known across the United States on a nightly basis.
Can I just say one thing? And I do I have to say, and then I want to, because I've heard this from men in my life. If you're 50 years old and you're still a work in progress, I mean, I'm all for like examination, and we've all changed, but you're 50 and you're still really?
53.
Okay. Thank you. You've made still like,
wait.
When are you going to progress?
It's the water in Calabasas, honey. They have to, the Calabasas thing.
I mean, I'm glad you're doing, but still like, it's like I'm 53 and I'm still going through puberty. Really? Still? All right. Let's talk about something. Let's talk about real Black excellence. The Return of Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
I love that show.
I love that show too. It's weird as fuck. I'm telling you.
No, I love that it's weird. Don't you love that it's weird?
Yes, because I like a television show because I feel like I'm a weird person. So I just like to see a show with a bunch of oddball characters who remind me kind of me and some of my friends in really impossible situations that I feel like sometimes me and my friends have been in some crazy shit. Like, do you remember that time when? And it's like, it's just great. And I love the first 2 episodes.
I do too.
And
they obviously got a budget this year because they shot in Europe.
Yeah. And I find it really interesting how they did that first episode that really didn't feature any of the main characters.
But they've done that before, though. They've done that. One of the things you have to, there's so many things to love about this. And I do harbor a really, really not even so secret crush on Lakeith Stanfield. I always have. I'm sure that he is like 5 times. I'm sure he is a piece of work, and I'm sure he's a work in progress.
I got to tell you, my friend.
Is he nice?
A buddy of mine has worked with him and is about to work with him again on the show and said he's the coolest person.
Oh, cool. No, I like him a lot.
Really nice guy, really artistic guy.
Oh, yeah. Cool, no, really but cool. I just love one thing that they do is they have these capsule, episodes, and they do things where it seemingly has nothing to do with anything else, or they just feature one person, and there's always this kind of magic realism about the whole thing where all these strange things are happening. And no, I just love the show.
Well, that was a takeoff of the Hart family. Remember that story?
Of the
lesbian.
Women. Yeah. No, I think the whole thing is a great show, and I'm very happy it's back, and I'm very happy that it seems that thus far success has not altered the off-kiltered weirdness of the show. And
4 years off.
Was it 4 whole years?
It has been 4 years since Atlanta.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
So to pick up and to still have that whip smart edge about it.
No, it's great.
It's a hard thing to do, you know?
Can I just real quickly just say, because you know I love Top Boy, very disappointing season.
Ooh, you're not liking it.
I finished it. It's obviously more is coming, because if they end it the way they ended it, then I want my money back that I didn't pay for.
Right.
Just sort of like, still great characters, still, great acting.
That's the
but
trouble
with
sometimes when a thing becomes a
no,
thing.
it just felt like it started off great, and then it just felt like, okay, now you know what I mean? It's like sort of like, and now you're adding the sociopath. Really, you don't need that. You could just concentrate on these guys. So I'm not
happy.
I'm fine with it. I mean, but I thought they would have made a little more progress in it. And I feel like sometimes pumping tons of money into things there's a lot of executive producers and a lot of money. And
more
I'm thinking
people,
maybe
more opinions. We need to shape it up. Let's make it bigger. The essence of what
all the location shots. And I feel like, I don't want to be like, I liked it when it was, I liked the deep cuts at Rough Trade, but it just felt bloated this year.
Because sometimes you see the money, but you've lost the essence.
You see the money. You see the money in this.
You lose the essence of it.
So I was a little disappointment, but that's okay. But I was a little disappointment. This is an awful segue, but so I don't know how to even. Taylor Hawkins, who is the drummer for Foo Fighters, a veteran drummer. I have never met the man, but from everything I've read, beloved,
people
great musician
that I've been around, love.
No, I've never heard anybody say anything. I mean, I've never heard anybody say anything negative about Dave Grohl in terms of a human being, Anyway, very, very sad. Passed away last weekend. And I mean, all we can say.
In Colombia. Shocking. It's just shocking.
I'm making it's just sad.
It's shocking.
It came out of nowhere. And it's just very sad. And I will say this, and I'm not defending the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because I have my issues, but when people go the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, it's bullshit. Every obituary led with Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductee. And the Grammys are coming up, and aren't the Grammys this weekend?
They're Sunday.
Yeah, they're Grammy nominated. I mean, people are wondering whether the band will break up. I think they will. I think Foo Fighters will. I think this will be it.
Why would they break up?
Because my opinion, I think they will break up.
They still have Dave Grohl.
Yeah, but
and is he going to not want to just make solo records? I think
no. I just think that maybe he'll. I think that Taylor was so. I think Taylor was so well. He will certainly take a long time off. This is the second time
I think, but I don't think he's going to want to be the second time that his band ends. Right? I think they will take time. They will honor him, and I believe they will continue. You know what I mean? They will absolutely continue.
Yeah, it's just so. Anyway, very sad thing. All right. Well, getting back to men acting like assholes. I wish that Will Smith had gone up at the Senate floor and slapped Ted Cruz.
I mean,
Mrs. Cruz must be sitting there somewhere when Donald Trump called her everything but like a heffalump, and her husband sat there and took
smiling.
It. Yeah,
smiling.
So, the Supreme Court. I mean, it's just painful. First off, these guys grilling Judge Katani.
And Marshall Blackburn, the racism of it all, the
sexism and everything.
It was just
unbelievable.
My thing is, you want to ask questions that are absurd, fine. But every Black person in this country knows the tone that was being used with her. It was the tone that bothered me more than anything. I expected them to come with racist, dumb shit and try to really slander her. But the tone that they used with her was really it's just unbelievable.
Don't you love it when white men white-splain Martin Luther King to Black people? I love that.
And my favorite is when they try to act like everybody Black is some affirmative action hire. Let's talk about this for a quick second, everybody. Fun fact, affirmative action. Here are the beneficiaries in order who receive who gets more. White women are first.
Right.
Asians, then Black, then Hispanic.
Right.
Okay. And it's not just take these women because they're women, Black people. It's look at these qualified women, qualified Black people, qualified. This whole thing when people talk about it is like, well, they just took them because they're Black, not or they're a woman. It's never that you could actually be qualified and have a brain. This woman is so accomplished And the way they spoke to her and at her, and the words like define woman. And it's just like,
it's ridiculous.
I'm like,
are you asking her about sentencing? Right. Asking her about the Supreme Court does not sentence people.
It was just,
they have never issued a sentence in their life. They decide, they make laws, or not laws, but they oversee. So the whole thing was just obnoxious and demeaning and stupid. And watching these guys, you know, if any man ever wants to wonder what it's like to be a smart woman in this country, these idiots, they were grandstanding. They'd all voted her in a year ago for the position that she's coming from. It's a fait accompli that she's going to be in. It was obnoxious. It was. But
what was it? Was it Lindsey Graham's like, I can't vote for her? It's like, why? They're trying to make her out to be some shit with child predators. It was like, you had no problem with Brett Kavanaugh when a woman said that he sexually assaulted her. And for you all to be like, I believed her. I just think she was confused about who did it.
Well,
really?
Courtney,
she was confused?
Come on, Courtney. You know that women lie about sexually being assaulted all the time. Mm-hmm. We just lie about it. We wake up in the morning and go, who can we accuse? But no, the whole thing is shameful. She's going to be on the bench. It's a wonderful historic moment. And good for her. And I'm sorry she had to go through that. I'm really sorry.
Me too. It was embarrassing. It was embarrassing. It really was. I'm embarrassed for the Republican Party, where I watched you guys, and it's like, I don't think the Democrats are great. I think that, you know, they do a lot of shit that embarrasses me and pisses me off. But to watch you take time at that moment and to show such sexism and racism, I will say
it. And contempt, just utter contempt.
Show that racism that way, and then try to act like that's not what it is. It's like, it's just a bunch of real racists in this country. They can't even help it. It pours out of you. Can't even help it.
Yep.
So can I just say another thing about the Will Smith that I find dumb? All of these people I'm hearing, that's right. Protect the woman. He had to protect his wife. They're all these same people who 5 minutes ago were calling Megan Thee Stallion a liar, saying this guy didn't shoot her. She doesn't know what she's talking about. You know what I mean? So get off your fucking high horses and pick a fucking, like, stop picking a side according to circumstance and actually stand for something. You know what I mean? It wasn't about protect. All of a sudden he's protecting his wife. You just slap anybody who's talking about entanglements. Like, they're talking about entanglements in your fucking face.
As I said, Jada Pinkett Smith is no wilting flower. I think she can protect herself.
You know what I'm saying?
I think she's fine. She literally has a forum anytime she wants. So I'm not. And
clearly has been saying everything on it. And now y'all are mad that y'all are the fucking jokes. What it's like, how about this? Share. Don't get me started. Because I tell you, that could be a whole motherfucking show.
All right. So.
And then to be in the middle of the dance floor getting jiggy with it. Like, you didn't just turn the whole Oscars out. It's like,
I'm dumb. Yeah, I have no.
I expect you to celebrate your Oscar, but celebrate your Oscar at your party. Don't still be the center of attention. You've really.
I'm sorry. Are you asking a man not to make himself the center of attention? Courtney, I know you enjoy smoking the weed. Are you on acid this morning?
I don't smoke
Are you
weed.
kidding? Oh, I'm sorry. Allegedly.
Yes.
Of course, he's going to make himself the center of attention.
I'm a man.
He's a man.
I'm a man.
Well, when you, it's please. All right. So.
I'm a man.
Okay. How many more days till Eric Adams is out of office? What have we got? How many more days? How many more days?
Y'all,
can we start? How many more days? Can we? You know that clock? Do they still have that clock in Union Square of the deficit clock?
Let me just tell you something.
Can we have the Eric Adams? When are you going to be done? Clock.
Well, we knew it was going to be a show. I didn't expect this show. New York's back to being Murderville. The subway's like Eskimos on ice, and motherfucking Eric Adams has decided that for the rich people who come to play sports and sing and dance, you don't have to worry about the vaccine mandate. And for everybody else who he's fired, he's like, well,
he didn't fire him. To be fair, that policy started under de Blasio, but de Blasio continued it for everybody.
But he could have ended it. He could have, for the first responders, who he could have made an exception for them, who protected this city for everybody. He was like, fuck that.
No, well, that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is de Blasio started the policy, but he was even-handed. It was everyone. Yeah, well, gee, big surprise. Let me think. Eric Adams is a former Republican, and all he cares about is getting us back on our feet. No one in New York wants to see the city go through tough economic times. It impacts all of us. But the point is that if you're going to lift the mask mandate, then keep the vaccine mandate. If you're going to keep the vaccine mandate, then lift the mask mandate. You can't have it both ways. You can't. And I'm sorry. So Kyrie Irving gets rewarded. Once again, another rich man gets rewarded for poor behavior because Eric Adams, it's playoff season. Oh, the tennis tournament is going to come up. You know what? The public will is so against Djokovic at this point. It's not going to affect her. Sales.
And he wants to cut hundreds of millions from the education budget.
Of course he does.
And has given more money to the police who get billions.
Right. Of course he does. And he's also, his program with the homeless now that he's starting is shameful. Shameful. No one, listen, people don't, the homeless situation, no mayor is ever going to be able to, it's so multi-tiered, but people don't go into these shelters because they're dangerous. And so before you start ripping people's stuff off the street and throwing out what few possessions you have, to have some place for them to go. I know I work with people who are homeless, right? And they are there. A lot of times,
I've known a bunch of people who were homeless.
A lot of people who are a lot of them mentally ill. So but it's like no one is making that. Yeah, he's just bad news. He's a Republican, and people who voted for him I don't know what they were thinking, like, oh, he's going to be good for business. No, he's going to be good for the business people that contributed to him.
And what they should stop doing is do a real affordable housing program to get and build. Like, you're making these people do these 60-40 deals and all of that shit. But I'm seeing like that building on Willoughby around the corner from you.
Right, I know.
Did you see? Yeah. So there's a lottery for affordable housing for apartments in that building. But do you know what the starting salary is for that? I do.
Yeah.
It's $86,000 a year.
Right.
They're like, well, that's the medium income for the area. But that means somebody who's used to live in their parents' house in Bed-Stuy can't move out and say, well, I can move to Fort Greene, to a neighborhood next to my neighborhood, because as a young person, I'm not going to start out making 86.
Actually, I'm shocked at how much people are making.
Yes, some people, Amy.
Some people, yeah.
Some people.
I want to just
depending on your career, some people. That's key.
I want to get the vaccine thing really quickly. I keep a mask on. I know that I'm at lower risk, and I know that we have to adjust to a new normal. But that said, to walk into a venue as I did this weekend and it be like, who's vaccinated, who's not vaccinated, is a little kind of like, so I just kept my mask on, No,
I keep my mask on because, first of all, you see people are still getting COVID.
Of course.
Jesus just got just got COVID. You know what I mean?
Deuce and Mero?
Jesus just got COVID. He was like, how the hell did I get COVID in the 9th inning? You know what I mean? Obama just got over COVID. Kylie Minogue just got over COVID. I'm
going to get the next booster. I'm doing it. Why not?
I asked my doctor, and she was like, we had that discussion, and she wasn't really down for that.
I don't care what my doctor says. Why not? I'm traveling in May. I'll get it. Right. What's the worst that can happen? My arm hurts? I'll get it.
Well, what if your arm falls off and then you grow the tail that everybody said you're going to grow, and then you're going to suddenly get balls?
Yeah. Hippity hoppity. Yeah. Or I'll become a genius. All right. I honestly don't know much about this. But Kim's video, which is like the word video, we have to explain that to children.
But do you know Kim's video? The legendary Kim's video?
Yeah, of course.
So Alamo Drafthouse bought the entire archive of all of the Kim's videos.
So that's like thousands and thousands of
and those are hard to find movies, interesting titles, underground movies. Kim's video, I was a member of Kim's video. Kim's video is where I would go and you could find John Waters and all that stuff where it wasn't mainstream stuff that everybody else would have. And they have a legendary collection, and they bought it for the Alamo Drafthouse downtown, and they are going to be open. They're going to be making that collection available.
So are they going to they're going to digitalize it all so you can show it?
I don't know. They haven't said
they're obviously not going to rent. I mean, nobody really has a VHS player except for my parents. Nobody has a VHS.
But maybe, who knows? But evidently, they're going to be making the titles available.
That's fantastic.
For rental. I think
that's
it's
fantastic.
Amazing.
That's fantastic. And it also, brings back, bringing the movie going experience. But who knows? Maybe they'll have like a whole streaming, like a Criterion channel, like an Alamo, another subscription. Yay. But no, that's great. That's great. That's a really great thing, because that's a real treasure trove of cinema,
and especially if
not
you're
just
from,
movies, cinema. That's fantastic.
Well, it's so funny you just said that, because I just saw breaking news. The FDA authorized a second COVID-19 vaccine booster shot for adults 50 and older.
Yep, I'm getting it, baby. Why not? I mean, why not? What's going to happen? Like I said, I'm going overseas, hopefully, inshallah, and sure, why not?
Right.
I don't want to get though. I mean, I don't want to. Why not? I mean, why not?
Right.
I'm minding my P's and Q's. All right, so we've been kind of dipping and dopping into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, just sort of talking about. I finally sent in my ballot. I finally did it. I finally did it. I'm sitting there looking at the thing, going, "Amy, stop acting like it's your taxes and waiting to the last moment."
You just got to do it and get it.
And at the last minute, I did make a pivot.
Okay, really?
I made a pivot.
Okay.
At the last minute.
All right.
I was going to vote for.
Who lost the spot?
Judas Priest.
Wow.
Because you know what? I realize that as much as statements matter, other statements matter too. And right now, the statement that matters more to me than well-deserved and they belong in it and there's no argument is women in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Right. So who
that statement kind of matters to me, even though I couldn't name I can name one Judas Priest song, and they do deserve and blah, blah, blah. But to me, the women matter. So my Judas Priest slot was taken up by Kate Bush, and I did vote for her.
Well, that's a great pivot.
Yeah. I mean, so I voted, and I know it's a long shot, but you know what? At this point, maybe Judas Priest is too. I mean, right. So I voted Tribe, Dolls. I know they're a long shot, but I just have to. It's in my DNA.
Listen, they're your people. You're always going to vote for them.
They're my spirit animals.
They are.
So Pat Benatar, Tribe, Dolls, Eurythmics, Kate Bush.
That's
I'm very happy.
That's a good.
It's
selection.
a nice mix.
Yeah.
I think Pat will hopefully knock on something on wood.
All fired up.
Yeah, I mean, I just think, but I don't feel like I was really leaning towards Judas Priest, but I went, you know what, Kate.
Right.
Plus, I really do want. I also want to support the women that are on the nominating committee, and I know that. I want to vote for the people. I want to support them. I want it to look like that we get together and we support each other. I mean, it is really important. I mean, if someone nominated Alanis Morissette, I'm not going to vote for her, but
it is.
Sorry. I mean, she's whack.
I love the fact that you cannot stand her.
Can I tell you something?
Remember that day?
Can I tell you something?
And then you said that to me, and I was like, what? I love Alanis Morissette. You were like, you would. You're a man. You're a gay man. Right. Y'all love her. You're like,
you love her. We don't love her. The woman made her name giving a song about giving a blowjob in a movie theater. That's a man's fantasy, not a woman's fantasy. Okay, that is not what a woman do. I can't wait to go to the movie theater and blow the guy from Full House. Nothing against blowjobs. What I'm saying is that's a man's idea of feminism. A woman's idea of feminism is saying, give me a blowjob in the movie theater. So those are them, and then Beck. So Kate Bush, and you're a huge Kate Bush fan too. We don't even
listen. Kate Bush to me is this. She's just a category all by herself. I don't even know what to call her. Kate Bush. Like those, you think about, she started making records in the 70s and just her
She
sound,
was a teenager, wasn't she?
She was like 18 and her voice is just unique. Her songwriting, the stories that she tells, the tales, it's all sometimes very parable-like, and like Babushka is my fucking song. I love the Lionheart album is amazing. Just, to me, she's influenced a lot of different artists in a lot of different genres of music. Yes, she's only toured in the UK twice. That one tour, I believe it was 79, 80. And then when she came back and did the shows in 2013, 2014, or I believe it was 2013. and never toured the United States, has not ever done a major performance in the United States. There's no interviews really of her on US TV, I don't believe.
Mm-hmm. No, I've never even seen her interviewed.
I get where some people might, she's this foreign entity to them, but those records still hold up. No one sounds like her. I love a unique voice, and she really has such a unique voice and perspective that's the type of artist to me who absolutely belongs in the hall, because she's a unique sort of enigma,
right,
that influenced so many different people and still continues to this day.
Well, and also, I mean, she's not that alien, because Pat Benatar, who's about as mainstream as they get, covered her. You know what I mean? So people who are listening cover her. She worked with Peter Gabriel, who's came from an arty background, but she worked with Utah Saints. She's worked with, she's an art project, a fabulous kind of art project, who's done it her own way, independently, has written classic songs, has written, so I mean, is it a long shot? Probably, but I think it's important to support that. So, and then Beck, I'm going to admit, I'm not a huge Beck fan. I don't, it's not that I don't get it. I'm just not a huge fan. I think partially might be age. I know people who are 20 years younger than me, and he is very much an artist of their generation. He is not an artist of my generation, but I will give him credit for.
He's had some songs that I really like. I'm not the hugest fan, but I respect the songwriting.
Songwriting, musicianship, and kind of the way he moves from genre to genre, without making it look like he's being a dilettante, if that makes any sense, So I think he is definitely worthy of nomination. You know who's a huge Beck fan, actually? Yeah. Chris Rock.
But that's the thing with Beck. He's got those kind of fans. He's like John Mayer, who they have a very loyal fan base that will support the records.
Unfortunately, Chris Rock is also a Red Hot Chili Peppers fan, but not everybody can be perfect.
I like the Chili Peppers.
Yeah, you're not a woman.
Well,
it would be nice. It would be nice after 30 years. I mean, I liked them in the beginning. Their early deep cuts. It would be nice in a woman.
I like the indie years when they were on that small label before they got signed.
I did actually. When the guy from Gang of Four produced them, I saw them in 1983 actually, and they were great. But it would be nice if after 35 years, Anthony Kiedis could carry a tune. But that's just me.
Well, because I don't
carry it. I don't say he has to be.
And my thing is, I don't like a man who can't sing. I only like a lady. You
only like women who can't sing.
I like a lady with questionable vocals and a really high production value.
No, you do, and especially if they're singing in a foreign language.
Oh my God! And if you start singing in like French or some shit, it's like fire and explosion.
For all you know, they're ordering out takeout, and you're like, it's fabulous.
I watch Mylène Farmer.
I know.
Barely does anything. It's like the bare fucking minimum. And I'm like, oh my God, that's so good. I'm like, and what does she do? Like, she moved her arm. Literally. The whole dance the dances are twirling. She's standing there. The next thing you know, she just laces her arm. And I'm like,
and you're
that was the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. And then she starts singing and you like the vocals. You're like, yeah, that's really crazy. I love this. Look at the production. It's amazing.
No, I know. It's good. It's good.
And then you got an Adele. She can sing and stuff, but it's like, all right. I'm going to be bored after a while. I need explosions.
No, you need Terry an extravaganza.
And some vocals that could be anybody singing them.
You need your gonzas to be extra.
Honey.
You need extravaganza with your. you need bells, whistles, flutes, xylophone.
But everybody also knows I love a singer. So I'm only kidding. But I do. I love that shit. But only from some people, because it's a master class in being able to really put on an arena show. Have the biggest, best voice, but come with all that production and give a show. I really appreciate it. I've seen it done really badly. And I've seen the ones who, listen, I don't go see Madonna saying, I cannot wait for her to turn me out vocally tonight. But she can do it when you put it all together. It's magic and it's an explosion. I've seen Britney Spears early where the vocals were weird, but it was a great show. Then I've seen her later where I felt really sad because you could tell her heart wasn't there. You know what I mean? So the movement, and when her heart's not there, then you pay attention to the fact that the dancing's not great, the vocal's not great. We want you to be great because we know when she's at her peak, it's an amazing an experience, a Britney Spears show. It really is. It's a lot of fun. She's got the songs. She can do it. I've seen Rihanna live, and I have to be honest with you. To me, Rihanna has all the songs, but I found her to be kind of boring live.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it all depends on the person and the thing. But I like it, honey. Give me some questionable vocals, and you've got a wall of fire.
See, that's why I'm surprised. I mean, and then we'll get into what we're listening. But I would think. Well, she can sing. I would think you would be a big Rosalia fan because the production values and the presentation are top notch.
Yeah, I don't mind her. I like some of her songs.
And she's not singing in any language you understand, so it's perfect.
No, true. But and I enjoy her. But sometimes that little I need the little homo touch, the little you know what I mean?
Sorry,
and Rosalia is great.
You can't have everything, Courtney.
Yes, you can. That's why we go to see Beyonce, honey, because she knows.
No, she understands. Don't
honey,
get me.
No,
let's not have that discussion.
I keep forgetting that. Okay.
No, that's not true. That's not. I have never seen her in concert. I saw Destiny's Child do a track date in Miami when Wyclef.
I still cannot believe you have not seen her.
Neither.
Okay. So the next time she's around, they always are very gracious and still give me tickets.
And
you will come with me and you will finally see her live.
That I literally ran into someone who worked with her on my way home, walked past Barclays, saw someone who worked with her, and their response was, "I can't believe you've never seen her. Okay, we'll give you a call." Nothing. Can I just say one thing and then we'll get into it? I was driving home the other day. I wasn't driving home. I was driving with somebody and we go past Barclays and I see this huge crowd of people and they're all wearing light up bunny ears. I'm like, oh my God, Bad Bunny's here. And I love the fact that all these people were wearing little bunny ears. I just love that. I love fans.
Yeah, but that's not for Bad Bunny.
Yeah, it was
really because Bad Bunny's doing stadiums.
Barclays.
No, that's an arena. His new tour.
Well, he was at Barclays. He did 2 nights at Barclays.
He did?
Yes.
I thought he was doing his tour here was at MetLife.
He did Barclays. I don't know. Other than that, there were a tremendous amount of Puerto Ricans standing outside in bunny ears for no good reason. A whole lot of hot Puerto Rican guys and hot Puerto Rican girls standing outside on 11th Avenue wearing light in the dark bunny ears for no good reason and Bad Bunny t-shirts. So either they, I hope that's not a trend. He did that.
Because you know what? You're right. Because he's coming back. He is coming here at the stadium. In the summer.
Do the sheds in the summer.
In the summer, he's doing the 2 days at Yankee Stadium. And I guess he's doing arenas. Because I was like, wait a minute. That's going to
be, as the kids say, lit.
Let me just tell you something. Have you ever been to a music concert at Yankee Stadium?
No, I have not. I've heard it's nuts.
I went to the Madonna MDMA was at Yankee Stadium. And that was fucking incredible. It was a good time. And the Formation tour was at Citi Field, and that was fucking incredible.
Yeah.
See, that's the thing. But see, Beyonce's a girl who can actually sing. She gives you, I love that show the most. High production and vocals. And she gives you the thing. You know what I mean? It's like that moment. You'll see. I can't believe.
Okay.
With all of the people
you know what? Let's do an entire show.
You literally know the entire publicity team
and
that works and they hire you to do a bunch of work still.
I did her bio. I did one of her bios. Okay. Listen, let's do an entire show of shows you can't believe Amy has never gone to.
Right.
You've never seen Pet Shop Boys. I can't believe that.
Wait. And then you're going to slap me in the face for this. I've never seen Sade.
Me neither.
But I was offered front row tickets to Sade.
You're an idiot.
With my friend Lisa Rose. And I had something else to do that night. I wasn't in the mood. And I was like, no. And Lisa was like, it's Sade. It's the front row. And I was like, yeah, I'm not in the mood.
Well, I will tell you this, and it is true, and this is not to be ghoulish. When we first started this, and for reasons I still can't figure out, I was offered a ticket to go see Paul McCartney play at Grand Central Station. No matter what you think about, like, he wasn't my favorite. Grand Central Station, okay? Grand Central Station. And only like whatever. And I was like, oh. And you said, Amy, if he dies in a week, you're going to be very mad at yourself. And it's true.
Mm-hmm.
And it's true. And it was a great show.
No,
All
listen,
right,
let me just, the nicest man. So it's, Beyonce was doing a series of shows at Roseland to promote the 4 album. And it's the first night. And the VIP section is, you know how Roseland used to have the balcony around.
I loved Roseland.
Oh my God.
I loved
Roseland. Is not,
I loved Roseland.
Was the best.
And I loved how they changed the stage for every show. I saw Prince there. The show was one place. I saw the Soundgarden. I saw Soundgarden there. The stage.
I saw Madonna there. I've seen Grace Jones there. I've seen so many people.
Great show.
I'm standing at my back to the VIP entrance. I turn around and somebody just sticks their hand out, and I stick my hand out. And I look at him and goes, "Hi, Paul." And I'm like, "Hi, yes, you are."
Not so Paul, just Paul. Amazing,
Paul. And you look and I'm face to face with Paul McCartney, and I was like, holy fucking shit. And it's like,
it's Paul McCartney.
That was that little moment of being like, yo.
Yeah, no, it's Paul McCartney.
And I'm not some big Beatles person, but
doesn't matter.
I was like,
Paul
he's a
McCartney.
fucking Beatle.
No, it's Paul McCartney.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah, no, it's Paul McCartney. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to be a Beatles fan to know
really
it's
nice
Paul McCartney.
Guy. Really nice guy.
All right. Let me just tell 2 quick things that I'm listening to. I'm listening, one, the new Coffee record, KOF.
Yeah, Coffee. She's a reggae artist.
This is her first
RCA.
album.
Yeah.
She won the Grammy for Reggae Artist.
Yeah.
Young Woman, which is unusual in reggae, not to be doing overtly sexy kind of stuff, with nothing wrong with that. She's just a really good singer, really interesting kind of androgynous, gender fluidity kind of vibe. And I don't know I don't care actually, but it's called Gifted. It's her first album, and it's quite good. And
I'm enjoying it.
And then this guy that I got turned on to by reading something anyway called World, WURLD. Spoonie is, by the way, outside the door screaming like a bitch.
Why have you been locking her out?
Because she drives me nuts.
Right.
Spoonie is Will Smith to my Chris Rock right now. She's going to come in here and slap me.
She's going to turn the party out.
Yeah, no, she's going to be pissed. World, and the album is called My World with You. Nigerian artist, Afrobeat. I mean, these new Nigerian singers are really kind of taking things over, which is great. So 2 albums I'm kind of digging right now. Anything with you?
I've been listening to... I was over at Peace Biscuit. Shout out to Bill Coleman, and he gave me a stack of vinyl that he had for me. And so I've been listening to 4 Pieces, which is the Yazoo box set of their first 2 albums, of their only 2 albums, and remixes and live performance from the BBC back in the 80s. And it's great. So I've been in a full Yazoo moment. And because last week was a lot of, literally last week was Stephanie Mills' birthday, Shaka Khan's birthday, Aretha Franklin's birthday, Elton John's birthday, Diana Ross's birthday. So I've been digging into all of their catalogs, listening to some of the older records, and I've really been digging into a lot of Stephanie Mills, early albums, really just reliving those songs and having a full moment. Her Sweet Surrender and Merciless albums, I've been kind of in a full moment with those.
Cool. Great. All right. Take us out, baby.
Well, guys, thank you. You know what the deal is. Listen to us every week on the Pantheon Podcast Network, where there are over 70 music shows and more being added, and a new series with Doug Herzog coming to SiriusXM really soon. There's so much. Check us out. Go to Pantheon Podcast. See us. We're actually on the main page with all the other shows. Check out the news of what's going on there. Really, really, really hot, great stuff. We're so proud to be a part of this network.
And Pantheon, thank you for the support you give us.
Yeah, you guys have really
page and stuff.
Our show has really grown, and they've given us so much support. We really appreciate it, and we're really happy doing this. We're almost, guys, this June will be 3 years of I'ma Let You Finish.
Yes.
And we really want to plan a really big 100th show. And, we're really happy that you guys have been growing with us. So you know the deal. Follow us everywhere on Facebook at I'ma Let You Finish, on Instagram at I'ma Let You Finish NY, on TikTok at I'ma Let You Finish Podcast, on Twitter at Finish Ima, everywhere. And leave a review, tell a friend. And yeah, I don't know what else to say.
Put a little money in our prison account.
Put a little money on our commissary. And, and remember to try not to slap anybody this week. We
Please
love
don't
you.
slap anybody.
We will
Bye.
see you next week. Deuces. Bye.
Bye.
It's NFL draft season, and that means it's time to start thinking about fantasy football. FantasyPoints.com features industry-leading experts and prognosticators using proprietary hand-charted data to help you score more fantasy points. FantasyPoints.com is the place to go for whatever kind of fantasy football you play. Whether you play fantasy football, daily fantasy sports, or do a little bit of everything, Fantasy Points has the meticulously researched content to guide you to victory. And why wait for the fall? Fantasy Points also covers the new spring football league, the UFL. Join the guru, John Hansen, Scott Barrett, Joe Dolan, and other massive names in the fantasy football universe with an exclusive offer. Use code Pantheon for 15% off any Fantasy Points package, including the all-in package, with access to every article, tool, and data nugget that Fantasy Points has to offer. That's FantasyPoints.com and code Pantheon for 15% off at Fantasy Points. FantasyPoints.com, code Pantheon. Score more fantasy points.